Don in London, hello, May 11th, 2009. My videos all about recovery from addiction to either substance or behaviour. My addictive substance, alcohol, my behaviour, trying to be perfect and never so. I will say that, and just to give you a framework really of what these videos are all about. And for me it is about recovery, staying in recovery, being in recovery, not going back to old habits and addictions. And I guess I've learned how to do this mainly one day at a time, and that's with the help of the fellowship of AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, which invites people to be a part of living a sober life. That's about as big as it gets in terms of an understanding of why we might go there in the first place. And then after that, it's a question of unique, authentic people going to the fellowship to get some help and support, and then being a part of, and always walking away from meetings and the fellowship as unique, authentic people. And the only criteria which might actually identify us is our similarity, and that is sobriety a day at a time. And sometimes it's a very hard won battle, and it's not easy, and I wasn't a good student to start with, because I was still looking to be fixed by an external force. And the problem is, if we actually identify the fellowship of AA as an external force to fix it, we are really not going to get very well very quickly. Simply, the power of the fellowship of AA is in the individuals who go there, and not the actual title or the way the fellowship may be viewed from the outside. So AA is just a collection of people trying to stay sober one day at a time, and we all meet in little groups all over the place, or sometimes fairly big groups. But at every meeting we share a preamble which gives the focus, if you like, to every meeting and what it's all about. And it goes like this, and whilst I speak for me, I cannot speak for AA, but I can give you an indication of what goes on and how it impacts on my life. So the preamble, which I hear every time I go to a meeting, goes like this, as long as I'm not late, of course. Alcoholics Anonymous is a fellowship of men and women who share their experience, strength and hope with each other, that they may solve their common problem and help others to recover from alcoholism. The only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. There are no dues or fees for AA membership. We are self-supporting through our own contributions. AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, politics, organisation or institution, does not wish to engage in any controversy, neither endorses nor opposes any causes. Our primary purpose is to stay sober and help other alcoholics to achieve sobriety. And the absolute gift is that if we are trying to achieve sobriety on a daily basis, maybe we have a chance of doing that and keeping sober. And there are 12 action steps which are all about changing attitudes and behaviour to how we live our lives. And it, again, is a unique, authentic journey for every single person, with one similarity: keeping sober one day at a time. So I try to emphasise that people going to AA are unique and authentic, same as everybody else in the population, that we've been driven bonkers by an addiction we couldn't stop on our own. And I suppose that's the moment of clarity, really, The moment of clarity is simply knowing that we can't do it on our own, and no amount of willpower will suffice to get out of this particular jam we've got ourselves into. And I was sharing this with a new psychiatrist who's on rotation via my other malady which I have to deal with. This malady is a disease. It's type 1 diabetes and clinical depression, which sort of go hand in hand. But it seems that the depression has been there in my personality and in my makeup and my physiology since I was born, because my mother remembers how I was as a child, fearful, not quite sure what was going on, and definitely not quite as happy as other people. I guess I was a fearful person and a fearful child, so I'm learning a little bit more about me and my pathology as I go along. But you know, the absolute gift of the program is to make the most of what we have today and not be resorting to other ways to fix ourselves, either by drink or drugs or behaviour. And as we get more sober, we get more of an understanding of who we are and what we can do. So AA provides a framework, if you like, 12 steps of action for the individual and 12 traditions which hold the fellowship together, and they're available on this little card. And if you haven't got one, you can go to the AA website, the official one, and see all this information is available. But you probably won't go there unless you have a reason to, either that you are an alcoholic wanting recovery, or you're connected to somebody who is an alcoholic and you're trying to help them. And the only thing I would say about that is a person needs to realise where they are and what is up with them before they can even attempt to find out how to help themselves with self-help through fellowship. Noise is off, somebody's alarm's gone off. Let's hope it's not for long, and it wasn't good. I share here the Daily Reflections, which is an AA one-pager per day, and for May it's all about the 5th step. And the 5th step is all about sharing who we are and what we've done over the years. That fearless moral inventory, which is the step 4, with God and another human being. And I say God or good conscience because on any given day we have our challenge either as an atheist, agnostic or God believer. And it is a daily thing. It's spiritual is in the moment of now for me. It's about finding the truth of now, reality, without denials and filters. And I've said before, and how do I put it? I guess one thing I said recently was man-made time. God is the universe, and whatever that is, it's beyond my comprehension. So there we go. Anyway, for this day, May 11th, in the Daily Reflections, it's all about step 5, and that is sharing our inventory with another human being, having done it with God or our good conscience. Until we had walked with complete candour, until we had talked with complete candour of our conflict and had listened to someone else do the same thing, we still didn't belong, and this is a new sense of belonging. After 4 years in AA, I was able to discover the freedom from the burden of buried emotions that had caused me so much pain. With the help of AA and extra counselling, the pain was released and I felt a complete sense of belonging and peace. I also felt a joy and a love of God that I had never experienced before. I am in awe of the power of step 5. And for me, the awe in that also is the awe of the universe. It's an awesome place when we actually when we get back to being fairly normal people, without this bind of being stuck in the malady of addiction. We find that ordinary life is quite extraordinary, and the universe is so big and infinite, we'll never understand it. We can just be a part of it and know we are part of an ongoing organic system. And what a joy that is. It means we're not trying to control it too much, and we're just trying to go along and find happiness and peacefulness and serenity in any one day. And that doesn't mean it's all happy clappy. What it means is it's happy clappy sometimes and unhappy crappy sometimes. Maybe I ought to call this video unhappy crappy. Who knows? Anyway, I had a good go at the politicians yesterday, and government got the shellacking it deserved yesterday, and now it's the opposition parties now facing the music in the press about their expenses. Good for them. At least the the opposition has said, we're very sorry. God blimey, we're very sorry, and they've only been doing it for God knows how long. Anyway, page 98 in As Bill Sees It, just do these linearly, sometimes they fall into place. It says here, anger, personal and group enemy. And I think my video is going to be called Only Love Can Heal. As the book Alcoholics Anonymous puts it, resentment is the #1 offender. It is a primary cause of relapses into drinking. How well we of AA know that for us, to drink is eventually to go mad or die, and die. Much the same penalty overhangs every AA group. Given enough anger, both unity and purpose are lost. Given still more righteous indignation, the group can disintegrate, it can actually die. This is why we avoid controversy. This is why we prescribe no punishments for any misbehaviour, no matter how grievous. Indeed, no alcoholic can be deprived of his membership for any reason whatsoever. And the final line is, punishment never heals, only love can heal. And for me, yeah, punishment never heals. It just creates more resentment and anger, no matter how much we might try and get away from it. And when it says only love can heal, you know, the healing process is forgiveness and getting out of hating ourselves and hating our behaviour into a place where we accept ourselves and learn to behave differently, and how to be serene or find serenity even when it's not so happy, or it is happy, joyous and sometimes free. So when I say, as the serenity prayer goes, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference it is simply for one day.